Hi there. The bowling ball that was my hair last week has seems to have shrunk a bit, so it's kind of okay now. I don't need a hat. All right, so scapegoats and divine timing. I want to tell you a little story. Actually, it's not so little. It spans like 8 years, but I'll summarize it in 8 minutes if I can. I had a vision, I had a dream, a goal. And things seemed to happen quite smoothly for me. There were lots of synchronicities. The universe seemed to all collaborate to help me. And I got this piece of land, which is so beautiful, so gorgeous. And the moment I set eyes on it, I already made up my mind that I was going to buy it. And the next day, literally the very next day, I bought this piece of land because of this dream of mine to make it into some sort of a community, or a spiritual retreat, or some kind of. I think I was a doomsday prepper without realizing it, because I wanted a safe place for me and maybe a group of like-minded people to take refuge there when things got too bad in the old order, in the old world. In my previous video, I talked about polarization and how the old world is crumbling and has been crumbling for the longest time. It's just that governments and corporations have been keeping it afloat, but the corporations are actually well prepared, or rather the individuals, the CEOs of large corporations are well prepared. I mean, they are the ultimate doomsday preppers, except we don't know it. They are the ones responsible for the crumbling of the old world system. So about 8 years ago, I had this vision, except I wasn't very clear as to why I wanted to do it. I just had an inkling. It was just an intuition that this was perhaps where I was heading. So I got this piece of land and I started developing it. I built my house. I created a beautiful garden. It took me quite a few years to get it all spruced up. And in those few years, I was too busy focusing on developing this piece of land, on making the house look nice, on making the environment beautiful, that I completely forgot why I was doing it. But after I set up something that was, well, to me, satisfactory, I then sat down, twiddled my thumbs, and thought, where are all these people? Why aren't people coming here to stay? You know? And I started getting impatient and a little bit depressed because I thought I had made the wrong decision. I thought that my intuition had tricked me. And I was a little bit mad at my angels because I thought, look, angels, I've done all this. What are we going to do now? But when I look back to the progress that I had made, not not progress as in building the place, but internal progress that I had made, I thought, wow, so that was the point of it. The point of all that was to develop myself internally, spiritually. At that time, almost everything in my life came crashing down. And now I know that it was the dark night of the soul, which lasted 2 years, not just one night. It's 2 years is like, 730 nights of the soul. That was like the darkest time of my life. Obviously, I survived the 730 dark nights of the soul. And now that I look back, it wasn't that my intuition tricked me. It was leading me to my vision one step at a time. And that wasn't the destination yet. I wasn't ready for it. It was just part of the journey. Because when I look back, I had grown so much spiritually. If I had achieved my goal of this spiritual resort all those years ago, I wouldn't have been ready for it. You see, I wasn't synchronizing with their timing, with the angel's timing. The angels were supporting me and helping me one small step at a time, except I was looking too far into the future. I was like a kid in the car going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Being really irritating. And all I needed was patience. It wasn't the right time, but it was the right time for my internal growth, for my spiritual growth, because of the dark night of the soul, and because nature is just so healing and so supportive. I don't regret doing all that. I really don't regret going through all that, because through all that, that was when I discovered the healing powers of nature. That was when I became so grateful of the sunrises and the wildlife that came to visit us, the chirping of the birds, lovely views, the silence of nature. And at night, when the skies were like pitch dark, you could literally see millions of stars. And that was the whole point. I know it's difficult to focus on the moment without thinking about the future, without thinking, am I doing the right thing? Is it going to lead to something that I want? And it's still difficult for me. But once you set your intention, once you have this vision that you are sure about, it will happen. All you have to have is patience and to focus on this very moment, because the angels know what they're doing. When you know what you want and you ask them for support, they know what they're doing. Leave it to them. I do understand that sometimes we think that, things are just not moving and we're so stuck. Sometimes we're stuck in this material world, but the energy that we've put out, the energy of the angels and the whole of the universe that are coordinating everything to help you, they are working. They are working as you sleep. They're working as you laze on the couch. They're working as you worry. I still have to try not to worry. That seems like an oxymoron, isn't it? Try not to worry. No, every time I worry, I just put a stop to it, or I start doing something, and it's something towards my goal. No matter how small, it doesn't matter how small it is. In the spiritual world, in the energetic dimension, there is no such thing as small or big. Because small or big is the unit of measurement that we know in this material world, because we need to measure everything. There's no such thing like that on the energetic level, because once you set your intention, then the ball starts to roll. If you're up to it, you do a bit more. If you're not, you do something small. But even that, it doesn't matter whether it's big or small. Just do something towards your vision. And most of all, be patient. I know I'm probably the last person you should hear this from, because I'm one of the most impatient people I know. So this is also trying to teach me patience, and patience is trust. If you're feeling stuck right now, if you're wondering when things are going to happen, if you think things are happening too slowly, just try to be patient, because divine timing is a thing. It is real. So I hope this has helped you somewhat, and I'll see you soon.